Nope, 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 nope. I wish I could make those long rounds, but I can't yet. I gotta find a recipe. Well, if I'm out of sniper rifles, bullets... Did I keep a pistol? I did. Alright, we'll try this bad boy out. Uh-oh. What just happened? I cleared a bounty? I didn't even know I had a bounty. They were corporate cleaners. They were looking for me?
Find the mine.
We're definitely in a minefield right now.
This unit has finished compiling the comprehensive report on the commander you requested, Agent Ibarra.
Oh, thanks. But I didn't request a report.
This request is over 3,470 days old and was initially issued prior to the mission on Horizon Point.
Oh, shit! Delete that. It's most likely to have outdated information anyway.
Acknowledged. Purging the commander's favorite colors, foods, and activities.
Yeah, I think for me, Transcend, like my first playthrough, I don't want to deal with flaws. I think flaws for me are more like, if it's my second playthrough and I just want to spice things up, like that's when I think the flaws come in, like second, third playthrough. First playthrough, I don't want to deal with it.
How are my three favorite mantisores doing?
Up and at 'em! Swear you take more naps than a raptidon. Kindly don't interrupt me. Training mantisaurs is enough of a headache without
All right, we're almost
answering a
there.
stranger's questions.
I bet we are going up top.
Reminder, undercover operatives may be in violation of their mission parameters when disclosing their identity to members of the local populace.
Time for lying low is over, Val. Can't afford to be coy when the world's in.
Elevating altitude thresholds.
Oh, he might not be up top here. He might be down below somewhere.
Please observe that this outpost remains relatively undamaged despite recent hostilities. Further investigation is warranted.
Well, I'd love to know if this is a fast travel waypoint. It is indeed. Thank you very much. That's all I needed for the moment. And looking for the trapper. This is a warning. There's uranium ahead. Copy that. Avoid that for the moment. Still trying to find the trapper. I bet he's right around here. slab of meat. I probably just took the meat from the trap that's drawing in the critters. Thanks for the free meat, buddy. This is probably what we're looking for. Yep.
You lost, stranger?
Not particularly lost, no.
Hey now, that's mine.
Well, it doesn't have a stolen tag on it, so... It doesn't have a stolen tag on it, it's free for the taking.
Excuse me? Acting like I'm not even here.
Nope, you're not. Sorry, not sorry.
I don't see a lot of new faces in these parts. What are you? Order? Protectorate? Anti?
I'm a little bit of everything mixed together, and that's what makes me so special. I'm actually on a mission. One part investigation, one part vengeance.
Well, don't that beat all? An unaffiliated freelancer. You and I are a dying breed. Me, I'm a sprat trapper. Cute little things, but their tallow and hides fetch a high price. Used to be protectorate, then worked for the order, then anti. Whoever's calling the shots on a given day. Now, I'm just waiting for the dust to settle so I can find out who I work for tomorrow.
Taxidermist back in Matriarch's Mercy is looking for some fresh sprat corpses.
Gregory? Well, I'm glad to hear he's still kicking. Loyal customer. Very particular about his sprats. These being hard times, I've had to raise my prices. Gal's gotta eat, and I don't care for sprat meat.
What do you take me for? I was promised quality goods, not inferior sprats.
Hey, these are premium sprats. But damn it, I can't have anyone spreading word that my sprats are inferior quality. That'd follow me forever. Go on, take them. Let's just keep this between us.
That was an 8 speech check, and I have 10, so... That was pretty near the max. Alright, now I can turn that quest in, I think. Visit the murals. You can take all the original pieces and assemble the complete work on your ship. Really? A change version of Guardian states it may be an aid. Found a compression coils. So we're orbially dropping onto Dorado. They must be important to someone. Alright. We're going to go back to the taxidermist. Right, max what we know. If I remember correctly, in the first game too, there was a max, but then there was like when I got to the very end of the game, I was able to beat the encounter, but the check was way higher than anything I had previously seen in the game, and the only reason I was able to complete it was because I had maxed out my my like dialogue
Do you
stuff.
believe Arcadia shall ever return to health?
Any luck with the sprat hunt? Decent quality, all things considered. Frankie's work is second to none. You can tell the good doctor I'll be around shortly, armed with needle and thread, calipers, and my finest jar of glass eyes.
Perfect. Thanks advance for lending your medical skills to the refugees.
Oh, no, thank you. It's always a pleasure to bring passion to one's work, even when that passion is a tad morbid. Be seeing you, Agent.
Oh, I need to check what time grocery store opens up. Chris and I have to go do some grocery shopping this morning, so I won't be doing like an 8-hour stream this morning. 8 a.m. I got about another hour. I'm gonna text Chris. Anyway, sorry, I had to. We were talking last night about going to the grocery store. I had to remind her what time it opened. She'd asked earlier, and I kind of forgot. I got about an hour left, and then we're gonna head out this store. And then I don't have Lord of the Rings Online tonight, so at least I don't think I do, because my brother texted me 2 days ago that they were doing a road trip to Colorado to deliver a whole bunch of meat. They had butchered 4 cows that they were delivering to a client, and I don't think they're going to be back tonight, or if they are, they're going to be super tired. So I'm doubting we're going to do LoTro tonight, which means I will be back with a second Outer World stream today.
When I asked the seer for medical specialists, a plumber was not what I had in mind. Trust in the Order to think outside of the box. Take this. On behalf of the Order and the displaced, I thank you. Now, will there be anything else?
There is. Give me a second. Gosh darn it, why is this not opening? My phone is being cranky this morning. Groceries, I know, right? Stupid real life getting in the way of gaming. I'm going through my phone really quick to make sure I didn't miss a message from my brother really quick. I also hired a taxidermist. You're welcome.
From a medical standpoint, the taxidermist doctor was an unconventional choice. But I can't deny the results. Here, you've earned it.
Oh!
Now, will there be anything else?
That was bonus for the optional. So if I had convinced the robot to come back, there probably would have been an additional 1,000 XP.
How can I be of service?
You cannot. Do, 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 do. The monastery currently requires an access code. Oh. So at some point we're going to be able to get into the cult. By the way, can I strip a mod off of a weapon? I don't think you can. Unfortunately, I can't here, Transcend. When we lived in the city, I could, but here I can't get heavy rounds and long rounds? No, heavy rounds. Aren't the heavy rounds the one I use for the sniper rifle? Long rounds. I found the recipes I needed. I found all the recipes I needed for ammo. I can't get things delivered here like that. Not in bulk. We can order small things from, there's a local guild, I guess, of scooter motorcycle delivery guys, and they will go and pick you up a handful. Like if you need, you know, a can of beans and some antiseptic and some band-aids and stuff, they'll go do that for you, and they'll charge you a small fee. But you can't. Yeah, we don't out in the city. They won't do like bulk deliveries, and I really miss that because that was nice during the lockdown. All the grocery stores, as a result of the lockdown, developed apps to match what Uber Eats had. Because like Uber Eats, I could go on Uber Eats and just order from a grocery store through Uber Eats, and your Uber driver would go do the delivery, would go do the pickup for you. And so all the grocery stores were like, well, if the app companies are doing it and taking a surcharge, we might as well create our own version of that so that we're getting the money for the deliveries and not this third party. So the competition forced them to up their game. And as a result, all the grocery store chains started offering um, grocery deliveries. And it's awesome. Oh, the other is they'll do pickups. So you can make your order. So like we did this when I was just up visiting my brother and sister-in-law last year. Was my sister-in-law goes onto the app for Walmart, makes her order, and then puts in a delivery, and they tell her when it's going to be available for pickup, and then she just goes to town when she's running other errands, pulls up into a parking area, clicks the button that she's ready, and a person comes out with the cart and loads it up into the back of your vehicle, and off you go. So you don't ever have to go into the grocery store. It's great. I do miss having those types of services where I live, because as a result, Chris and I have to physically go to the supermarket a couple times a week. I also don't like crowds, which is why we go early in the morning. Not for the claustrophobic stuff as much, a little bit. Um, I get grumpy with stupid people, and so one of the things I'm not a germaphobe, but I get respiratory infections really easily, like the flu. I get my flu shot every year. I've had lots of problems over the years with colds and sinus issues. I will definitely have problems when I get older. It's a shitty thing I have to deal with. I had congestive lung failure when I was 22, and that's just something that's going to plague me my whole life. I have respiratory shit. And I'm nervous when I go because people don't fucking, like, they just sneeze and they don't like even make an attempt to like sneeze into their elbow, like put their shirt up over their face. They just sneeze everywhere, and just people, the way dirty, everybody's dirty. I swear I'm not being a germaphobe. I'm not like, ooh, don't touch it, but I am very much like, oh my god, you just sneezed all over everything. So I don't like to go to the supermarket when there's lots of people because I get sick easily. So I try to avoid going to the supermarket during peak times. I go in the mornings. Um, conferences are the worst because every time I've gone to a conference, everybody gets con crud because and and you can't avoid it. It's like you're in a room with 200 people, you're at a conference with 2,000, 3,000, 6,000 people. Nobody's washing their hands. Everybody's touching everything, and inadvertently you're going to touch a door handle and scratch your face or something, and it contact and you're sick. So yeah. And the other thing is just stupid people. And I think I told this story maybe a month ago, a couple months back. I was at the supermarket with Chris during peak time, and we were in the aisle for your groceries, and we had the cart, and she was paying, and the guy behind us, we had already paid, but she was putting the groceries into her cart, and the guy behind us came in, and he only had like 2 things. So he paid and was done with his 2 items while we were still in the aisle with our cart, filling up the cart. And we couldn't pull the cart out of the aisle because there were people at the ATMs, which are right there at the end. So we were having to fill our cart and then we could leave. And he didn't wait for us. He just started trying to push, and there's no space. So he literally pushed me and then was like pushing my cart to get out. And I turned around and I said, "Excuse me?" And he then stopped and went, he's like, "Can I please get by?" And I was like, "No, you're going to have to wait until we're done because there's no space for me to move. Just wait and we'll be out of your way in a minute." And I was grumpy at that point because he had already pushed me and didn't say sorry or please or anything until I confronted him. And then he just proceeded to just be like, whatever, and pushed his way past anyway, and like just pushed Chris, pushed the cart and everything else. And I was like, I was ready to pop somebody in the supermarket. And like 2 days later, I told Chris, I was like, "I'm gonna go buy some stuff at the store," and she's like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "It's 11 o'clock in the morning right now." And I was like, "And?" And she's like, "All the people are there right now. I don't want you getting into an altercation if I'm not there with you. Let's just wait till tomorrow." And I was like, "Fair point. My wife knows me." 'Cause I'm getting to the age where I just don't have patience for that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna end up. I feel like sometimes I just want to pop somebody because it's just like the stupidity and so it's better if I just avoid crowds entirely because that kind of stuff I'm having less and less patience as time goes on. I will probably be the guy who ends up crashing out at the grocery store when I'm 55 years old and you know gets you know punches some guy in the face. It's gonna happen. So I just avoid it. It's better to not get in trouble if you know you have trigger weak points. So for me, it's not so much claustrophobia as just knowing that I have this pent up rage, and one of these little snowflakes is gonna get popped one of these days. Telling you, man, take the label off the bleach containers. All right, all I have left is but claustrophobia is a real thing. Transcend being able to handle a car for long. I remember when after my congestive lung failure, I had post-traumatic issues, and they put me on Xanax and Paxil for a couple of years to just till I got over it. And it had gotten so bad where I couldn't go to the supermarket, and I had to have. At the time, I was still in a speaking relationship with my parents, and so my mom would go help, and then my sister would get me things. Um, it sucked. Yeah, it's better just to wait, transcend, go late at night or early in the morning. I really like the early morning, so we try to go when they first open up, especially on a Sunday, because no one's going to be at the supermarket, and most people are either not waking up because it's early on a Sunday or they're going to church on a Sunday. So Sunday is my preferred day to go to the supermarket. I try to go before 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning because anything after 11 o'clock, everybody's getting out of church, everybody's got the day off, bad day to go in the afternoon. The flip side is that there's also a local liquor law which says I can't buy alcohol after 8 o'clock at night and before 10 o'clock in the morning. So anytime I want to buy booze, I either get it through Amazon so that I don't have to deal with anybody, or I have to go to the supermarkets here at 10 o'clock in the morning to get a bottle of wine or something. And it sucks, but I try to do that on like a weekday because everybody's at work. So you know they're going to be at work, and there's not going to be that many people even at like 11 o'clock. On weekdays, the peak time is going to be like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. Yeah, Lou, I really wish I could. If I could get things ordered here, I totally would. I just would avoid, I would prefer to avoid people entirely. Yeah, Queen Blueface. Comic Con, like any type of conference, is going to be nasty. There's going to be 6,000 people there. No one's washed properly. They all stink. Bunch of nerds who don't believe in hygiene. Air conditioning never works. The Wi-Fi always sucks. that is one of the only ways is to socialize. That's social anxiety is a thing, but at the same time, we live in a time where you don't have to cope if you don't need to. Like we have so many
Attention. A
solutions.
nearby mantisaur is deviating from typical flesh-rending behavior.
Like delivery options are great for people who have social anxieties. Like, shit, I didn't mean to do that. Apparently, don't go beyond the borders. He'll get shot at for trespassing. No clue. I don't play games on, like, if I wanted to play mouse and keyboard, I play on the PC, so I don't know. I play on consoles specifically so that I could use controller. I am a 99% controller player. I don't play with.
Every atom in the universe.
Another refugee
We can
camp?
predict the future.
Another colony?
I predict.
I do not play with mouse and keyboard, so no answers for you there. But I mean, I said to guys, I think I talked about this a couple months ago. The fact that I don't even want to go to conferences anymore because I've just gotten to the point in my old age that I have no desire to deal with people. Airports are like the worst thing I can think of right now. Like the idea of every time I'm on social media, I just see horrific things happening on airplanes because of ridiculous people doing stupid things.
Attention.
And I just don't want to be
Nearby
around it.
mantisaur is deviating from typical flesh-rending behavior.
Bradford, I've no notion of how to cool your conniption.
Hey, stranger! Please, you gotta help me. They're gonna railroad me into a guilty verdict. Then I'll be declogging sewer sediment tanks until I'm dead enough to mulch.
What do you mean railroad you?
They're saying I murdered an officer, but they don't care what I've got to say about it. They just want me locked in here until
Yeah,
they pen
airports
me in
do
the
suck
sewers.
bad. Lucky for you, I could never ignore an injustice. What caught you in there, Dragnet?
I've absolutely no notion as to why. I've never been in no kind of trouble. I'm a good employee, I do my job, and I don't complain. And honestly, I actually like Chief Cuddy. He'd get you extra shifts if you asked, and only ding your pay if you really screwed up. And sometimes, if you really had to go, he'd even cover your bog breaks, pro bono. I'd never have hurt the chief, even if you offered to pay me to do it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't like flying either. I've never liked flying. When it was my job, it was just kind of the sucky part of my job.
I don't think nobody killed Cuddy. I was there.
I have a
That's
fear of
everything I
heights.
did,
I have a
and he
fear
was
of deep
fine.
water because I can't
Well,
swim for shit,
he
and I have
was
a fear
fine
of
up until
flying.
he
So
wasn't, and then he
oceanic
just
flights
swole
are
up and
always the
died. But
worst.
the way he swole
I literally
up,
just
it's something Cuddy
drink
always said
until
might
I
happen.
pass out.
Only
Like,
it don't make no
take a
sense
couple of
that it happened
whiskeys
now.
and I'm good to go. I'll just sleep if I can. I've taken sleeping pills in the past, but I just prefer a couple of whiskeys and or a glass of wine or two, and I'm usually good. And I just put in my earplugs and just try to sleep the whole way. Fear of turbulence. I know technically it's not supposed to be anything, but even the slightest bit of turbulence, I clench up, grip the edges of the chair. I'm not a good flyer.
We were eating chow at our post. Cuddy asked me to try his because it tasted funny, but I tried it and it was fine, just like mine. Then he just swole up, turned blue, and died. I made a ruckus, which called everyone in, and all they saw was him dead and me fine. So Security Officer Abner charged me with murder and threw me in here.
So how does that line up with what he said would happen?
It was exactly what Cuddy said would happen if he ate crabble. He was deathly allergic to crabble. But we ate sisty stew, fresh from the can. And ain't no crabble in sisty stew.
Unless... Are you sure there wasn't crabble in it?
Yup. Cuddy had told everybody about his allergy, repeatedly, over and over, constantly. Nobody would have served him crabble knowing that.
Unless
But
someone
that's still gotta be
wanted
how
to
he
kill
died.
him.
So I need you to talk to Security Officer Abner, remind him of the allergy, and let him toss all my gear. He won't find crabble anywhere.
Any of the stew still around?
No, that was days ago, and they tossed out the rest of the stew. So I don't even know if the docs will still be able to tell it was allergies that did in Cuddy.
Alright, let me see what I can find out.
He will. He has to. It's the truth. I didn't murder nobody. Please, make him understand.
What have we here? You couldn't look less Santi's choice if you tried. So what are you doing in our fort?
Happy to speak with your prisoner. I think we should talk about it.
You happen to speak with my prisoner? Without my permission? Why by law would you do that? And why shouldn't I lock you up for it?
See someone sit in a cage. I want to know why, so I asked.
And pray tell, what did our Trooper Bardot have to say for herself?
Your suspect make it sound like a cheapmate died from his allergies.
What? How could that be? I made the stew myself and every one of us ate it.
Exactly, but only he had a deathly Crabble allergy.
What? That's ridiculous. It was nothing but canned sisty stew. Stew that I Oh. Oh no. Oh, did you say Crabble?
Yes, apparently. Yeah, why do I suddenly think you know exactly what happened to Chief Cuddy?
Well, he told everyone that. But that ain't exactly the same as it actually being true. See, Cuddy was what you'd call a complainer. He complained about the food. He complained about the weather. He complained about his bunk. He complained about everything. He's also somebody's nephew. Some junior executive. And if you gave him reason enough to complain about you, he'd take it up with his uncle. And it'd come back down in your head.
Yeah, I had a landing in Warsaw once where everybody applauded. We were coming into Poland during a storm. It was icy out, and the plane did a thing where it like landed on a wing, like on a wing, sorry, but on like a one wheel, and the wing almost touched the ground, and then it bounced back onto the other wheel, and then and it did the bounce thing a few times going down the runway before it settled in, and then we were like going sideways before it straightened out. Dude, it was, yeah, that was one of those heart-stopping. Ugh, I don't miss that. That's actually, Chris and I have had this conversation many times. Like, to go visit my family the last few years, I have gotten so just especially with all the issues that have been happening with like airplanes just falling out of the sky. I know statistically it's still the most safest way to travel, but there have been a lot of issues in recent years with like the Boeings, some other things. Anyway, the idea of like I would prefer to drive, even if it takes me 4 days to drive to visit my brother. I would rather drive the 4 days than fly and be there in 12 hours, because I know that I'm in control. It's a control thing. I know I'm in control of the vehicle. You know, I'm taking, and I would like to I like road trips. You know, you're getting lots of scenery, photographs, videos. I understand Sean Bean entirely during the filming of The Fellowship of the Ring, and he would hike up the mountain every day rather than take the helicopter. I'm like, I'm there with you. I don't think I could. I've never been in a helicopter, and to be honest with you, I don't think I ever could willingly get into a helicopter. This is the funniest story everywhere. Chris and I, we were on a press tour in Spain that the government had paid for, and it was invite only. And we were there with like the National Geographic Travelers of the Year. It was a big, big event. There was only like 8 people that were invited. Chris and I were 2 of them. The head of the the head of the tourism board for Costa Brava was there, like the big head of the entire region. And they had invited us in, and we were on this really cool tour. We were doing all these cool activities, and one of the things we were doing was they took us up in hot air balloons. And I have never in my life wanted to go in a hot air balloon. I did not want to go in the hot air balloon, but this was a once in a lifetime opportunity to work at this level when we were doing travel stuff. And so we had to go to, we went to breakfast first, and it was this big spread at the location while they were airing up the balloons. They had a restaurant and a cafe on site. Really good food. It's actually where I got my recipe for the alubias con butifarra that I cook. That's literally the restaurant where I got that recipe. I got the shits. I was so terrified of going up in this hot air balloon that my guts were just turned to water. And I went to the bathroom like 6 times before and after breakfast, and we got on, We get in the fucking gondola, and I'm literally, I'm filming with one hand because I'm there to do a job, but I am gripping. Chris has footage of this on her phone, where I was like not paying attention, and I'm gripping like one of the ropes or cables that goes up from the gondola to the balloon. I'm gripping it so tight with my offhand that my entire fist was just white like a sheet of paper, and I'm like rigid like this, and fucking the head of the tourism board was like tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, "You gonna be okay?" And I was like, I'll make it work." But it was like it took. It wasn't until we got up like we were way high up, and everything below gets so tiny that you lose the sense of you lose that sense of distance. Your perception of distance, it's so far away that you're just like, I didn't relax until that happened, but I never let go of the rope. But it was like the views were amazing. I got great photography, great videography, but it was a terrifying experience for me that I will never ever I will never go on a hot air balloon ever again, ever. It was an absolutely terrifying experience. Um, that same trip, we were trying to get some photos of like this cliff along the um, Mediterranean, and I got up to the edge, and it wasn't even that far down, maybe 100 meters, and I still froze up at the edge, and Chris had to like come and like walk, like I was on my hands and knees, and I still froze up. I have a horrible fear of heights like that. It's bad. I've never done a bungee. Fuck no, I've never done bungee jumping. I get bad. Like I was on a photo gig in Puerto Vallarta. We went up to the penthouse on this hotel. It's actually the same hotel that Bubbalonia's been at, and I showed him the pictures when we did the photo shoot. Bubbalonia took his partner out there a couple years back, and we were on the penthouse doing a photo shoot. And when you come out of the master bedroom, on the top floor, there's like this, I don't know, meter wide walkway with just plated glass on one side between you and this like 50-story drop off and the beach and the coast. Like the entire coast is right there, but it's like a meter wide and maybe chest high, but it's like clear glass. And so you're just looking off the edge of this thing, and you go down this like walkway about 3 meters to get to the end, which is this massive infinity pool at the top of this penthouse. And if you've never seen an infinity pool, it's literally like this pool that goes right up to the edge of the building, and it's like clear glass, so that you're in the pool with nothing but clear glass between you and this like 50-story drop off in the whole ocean. And it's a fabulous view, but for me and my fear of heights, I was just terrified the whole time we were up there doing this, and the buildings, moving with the wind. It's just no.
Law, no. Or at least
Don't like
not on
heights.
purpose. Half his gripes were really nothing but reasons to grouse. But if you push back too hard, he'd run to his uncle. So most of us just ignored him, assuming he was constantly full of it. And didn't think twice about doing things like stretching the stew with canned crabble stock.
So you're the one who killed him.
What? No, it was an accident. Nobody would have. At least nobody'd mean to. Law, his uncle is gonna see me transferred to mid-operation engine cleaning on the claim.
Yep.
Unless... Hey, how'd you like to make some bits? Some real bits? And keep a tragic accident that'll lead to the end of a promising career. Total secret.
Hold that thought. All right, breakfast is ready, guys.
So we got this thing. An acidic dematerializer that we use to melt mantisaur dung, so it don't call in the local wildlife. But it'll actually work on anything. That means if someone, used it to melt Cuddy, there would be no body, which would mean no autopsy, which would mean no evidence, which would end the investigation.
What about the girl in
I'd
the
do it
cage?
myself, but my boss said she's on her way for a surprise
What about
inspection.
Bardot?
Well, then she's cleared, of course. No more questions asked. She goes free, you get bits, I get on with my life. Deal? Thank law. You'll find Cuddy inside the tower, but you'll have to sneak your way past the guards.
Sure, why not?
It simply wouldn't do for me to announce your intentions to the base. Then come back and tell me when I've got no more evidence to hold Bardot and can draw this whole thing to a close.
Well, hopefully I can actually trust him to do that. That's going to be where I leave you, though, guys. Breakfast is ready, and we're going to go to the supermarket after breakfast. So, more than likely, when I get back, I'll probably just take a shower and come back for another stream. Unless Chris needs me for something, because I think she hasn't. They just opened the church back up because they've been installing air conditioners for the past couple of weeks doing work on it. So if she's going to church today, I'll just come back and stream while she's at church. Otherwise, I'll be back this afternoon. Like if I decide to take a nap or something, I'll be back early this afternoon because I don't have Lotro tonight. So we're definitely doing 2 streams. So, I'm taking too long, so she brought me breakfast. By the way, this is breakfast, everybody. So huevos motoleños. Fried plantain, beans, 2 eggs with jamon, fresh homemade salsa. She literally was like, the salsa's going to get cold, you need to eat. So she just brought me my plate because I'm taking too long. So I'm going to go eat my breakfast, go to the store, and I'll catch you guys later on today.